Welcome back to the Backlog Boys podcast at the cinema. With you, as always and forevermore, the gate master himself, Samuel.
Hey, what you doing? I'm ready to let anybody through these pearly gates.
And the key master himself, Alexander.
Have you seen the Gate Master?
Right here.
Oh, I've seen a couple gate masters.
Yeah.
And then there's me, Goziar himself. I had a little flair to it.
The little destroyer?
Omar, the destroyer. What am I destroying?
You're dressed like him too, man.
Oh,
Am I?
Yeah.
Flamboyant and beautiful, yes.
You're barely wearing anything. I could see more than I want to. Right
completely nude in my own house, so I think it's justified.
Every crevice of your body is within.
That's why I'm the
view.
destroyer. I destroy your eyeballs. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And speaking of
I wouldn't say
disgusting,
If you can't tell,
Ghostbusters is our next movie here. 1984, baby, the original.
Yeah. Which one of you wants to bust out and sing? The
I
song?
don't want it copyrighted.
busting makes me feel good.
I don't think that's what he said. He
There
say
we
that in the
go.
song.
Yeah. Have you not seen that edit? There's an edit where it's just literally just.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
It's so stupid, but yeah,
You gotta show us that.
the iconic Ghostbusters from the 80s.
You gotta show us. I know I want to see that.
You want to see it now?
No, now I want to see it. We'll watch it.
We're gonna watch it after.
Yeah,
Sure,
we'll watch
sure.
it another time or whatever.
Yeah, on Omar's new computer.
Yeah,
My new fucking Go XR, the super duper computer.
His little
You can tell I know
Elgato.
nothing about computers. Anyway, speaking of computers, I looked away like I fucking remember his name. So the director of this, Ivan Reitman.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at reading names.
Yeah.
He's made other like comedies like Stripes and like fucking other like Bill Murray movies or whatever.
Mhm.
Basically, they're like homies and best friends.
Yeah.
Written, I wonder if you guys recognize these names. Written, Dan Aykroyd and
Yes.
Harold Ramis.
Didn't Dan Aykroyd get beat up the other like a couple years ago or something?
Did he?
Like he like disappeared from the public eye. I'm 90% sure, and then he recently came back for like an ad, and then like somebody like beat him up in public. Like
Oh my god.
for no reason, just I'm gonna.
I
beat
hate the
up.
Ghostbusters.
I think that might have been him. I don't know. It was one of the.
I hate your
Ghostbuster
Crystal
guys.
Skull fucking vodka.
He went and helped with the 2016 reboot.
No, I don't think it was the Crystal Skull guy. It was one of the Ghostbuster guys. Just
Yeah, Dan
essentially
Aykroyd.
quit acting. Yeah.
I'm saying Dan Aykroyd's the one with the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, because
Oh, okay.
Vodka.
Oh yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's either him or Bill Murray or the other guy because
The other guy's-
Raymond's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
He died, I think, like in 2014.
Oh.
And the other two, the other three is Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and
Egon.
Ernie
Egon.
Hudson. No, Egon is
Egon's
is
dead.
Harold Ramis.
Oh.
He's the one. He died.
Oh, that sucks. I like.
So yeah, Dan Aykroyd and Harold, the Egon and fucking Ray, they're the writers of this movie.
Oh, okay.
They wrote this movie. I'll talk more about the whole
Yeah.
pre-making this movie because it's pretty wild.
I'm gonna pre.
The budget of this bad boy, yeah, it's 84, so inflation and all that jazz or whatever. Estimated about 25-30 million.
Wow.
To current time is about 50 to 60 million to now.
Okay.
Double that, 100 million.
How much did it make?
It made money and then some, trust me.
Oh.
Back then, 295 million.
Jesus.
To translate to now, 821 million it made.
So this movie,
And that's
was
just theatrical.
Yeah.
That's not like
Yeah.
fucking movies and like the sequels and all that.
And
shit.
like
So, like,
merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie would have made enough to compete with a Marvel movie.
So this movie definitely made a boatload of money.
Okay.
And this is like, because back then it was like comedies didn't make money.
Mhm.
Like they made money, but like
Not like this.
not this. That was the issue they had with making this movie was the money of this.
I feel like because this one's more like geared towards family.
No, well, I don't think it's that either. It's not just a straight comedy where it's like normal people. Like it's a supernatural like adventure
I mean,
movie that's
yeah,
also
but, like,
comedic.
80s comedy movies are usually like raunchy, so that's why.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess I haven't seen a lot of 80s comedies though.
Yeah, I can't confirm nor deny 80s filmography or anything like that.
I loved it.
But I mean, like that was like their main issue was like money in this movie, obviously, because originally, Dan Aykroyd was the one who originally wrote everything.
yeah.
He wrote this, and it was a completely different movie.
Okay.
It was gonna be like a futuristic space shit, and it was gonna be more like serious and like scary and like not as like comedic or whatever. But then the director Ivan When he saw it, he was like, "This is gonna cost like $200 million. Like, this is no way that we're gonna make this movie."
Yeah.
So that's where we got Harold involved to be like, "Hey, can you help us rewrite this to make it more, doable?"
Mhm.
That's why the New York setting and like the more like these blue collar dudes making like these build their own shit or whatever. Something crazy about it.
Really?
But it still came out to like 25-30 million to make.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see that CGI?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff is pretty scuffed, but I think for back then it's great. It's great.
Well, like it's like a mix of puppeteering and claymation, which I'm always a sucker for claymation.
Was it that?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just that the time they were given, because they were like, okay, can we make this movie? Columbia Pictures, the one who was a studio. The dude was like, yeah, well, you could do it. 25-30 million is fine, but you have until like I think they have a year and like a half to make everything, and they still haven't even rewritten the script yet.
Oh.
So they had to rewrite the script, start the film, and all that jazz in that time of span. So by the time the film was done, they only had so much time left.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like the kind of post production is a very hurried. That's why some of the CGI and like the meshing of it's pretty like scuffed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of the shots in the movie are pretty like they just got a camera and recorded. There was no like there was no rules and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like what's the word? Guerrilla filming or whatever. Not on purpose, just like because they were just like we only have so much time.
Yeah.
We only do so much stuff or whatever. So a lot of stuff happened behind the scenes for this movie before like they couldn't even like do anything.
Okay.
So to my classic segment, what's that? Stats and facts. All four of the main actors, I have a lot of bits about them, so I'll dive real quickly into them. Dan Aykroyd, the guy who made this, he's like super into supernatural shit.
Okay.
Like his whole family's like, his dad wrote a book about ghosts. His like grandfather is like he used to like listen to radio to listen to ghosts. His like great grandfather was like a mystic.
Okay.
So like he like fucking like they're all into that shit. So obviously he's like in a
got very
household of
spiritual
that
family,
or whatever. So that's kind of like how he got like into like the idea of this story, but more obviously it was probably more realistic and more serious. But
You wanted it more scarier.
yeah, but then obviously the whole thing would happen with the money or whatever. And then Harold Ramis, my voice is disappearing slowly for some reason.
Why are you saying it like that, by the way?
What?
Isn't it Harold?
Harold, what am I saying? I think of Harold and Kumar. That's why. So I'm saying it like
It's
that.
still Harold, though.
Yeah, no, but I pronounce it Harold and Kumar. That's what I'm saying. I think I'm just naturally saying it by accident. I'm not even realizing.
Harold.
Okay.
Haroldo. That guy, I think it was interesting because again, he was only going to be a writer,
Yeah.
but like as they wrote the characters, they thought he was perfect for Egon.
Okay.
So he was like, "You have to be Egon,"
Okay.
and he wasn't that big of an actor either. He's only been in like Stripes, the other movie that Ivan made, and that was kind of it. Like he's been in like voice stuff, like for radio.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
what a very iconic role to be casted in.
I think that's why they thought it was perfect for him because
Yeah.
he thought he can play him like perfectly or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Because in the original movie, it was going to be Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi,
Mhm.
and Eddie Murphy. They were going to be the three main characters.
Ah.
Sadly, John Belushi died during the writing of his movie.
Yeah.
He was like, I think that Dan Aykroyd said he was writing a scene for him, and then he got the call that he died.
Oh, okay.
And Eddie Murphy, I think he was doing like Beverly Hills Cop or whatever, so he couldn't do it anyways.
The better movie.
I haven't seen it. I can't feel like
No, I haven't seen it, but I'm saying like,
probably. I don't know.
more people talk about Ghostbusters than Beverly Hills Cop these days.
So like those two were kind of out. So like, oh, now Dan Aykroyd was the only one left, and because
Yeah.
like Dan Aykroyd is like known to like they do like his SNL coworkers are usually in his movies.
yeah.
So Bill Murray was asked, "Hey, can you be in this movie?" Bill Murray is known to like be like, "Yeah, I'll do it," but like he doesn't sign anything. He just verbally says shit.
Yeah.
So like the day of, they could have been like, he doesn't show up, and then like, well, that's our fault, I guess, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So they kind of like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, like he was pretty up in the air. So that's why Haroldo, whatever.
Yeah.
When he was writing, he's like, "All right, you're in the movie now."
Yeah.
So the originally they were like Bill, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold. We keep saying it wrong on purpose now. So that was the original cast.
Yeah.
For a while. But the issue was they had the Eddie Murphy character written as well.
Mm.
So when they had a cast for him, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. Let me look at his name real quick. Ernie Hudson, the guy who played.
Yeah.
This is his actual character. Winston.
Mm-hmm.
That character's gonna be completely different.
Hmm.
He was gonna be like a ex-military demolition expert, and like he was gonna be in the movie from the very beginning.
You're saying that Eddie Murphy was supposed to play this?
Yes, yes.
What? That's
So that was gonna be the beginning.
So
like,
that's why he was. They had her rewrite his character.
So the issue was when I already forgot his name. Ernie. When he read the script and was auditioned,
Yeah.
it was the old script.
Oh, okay.
So because he liked the script so much, he took half the asking price he normally takes. So he got paid way less than he normally does. So the night before the film started shooting, he got the new script.
Oh.
He learned he was only in the movie halfway in, beyond that. He wasn't from the beginning. His character's completely changed.
It's not even that big of a role.
Yeah.
And then Ivan, the director, was like, because Eddie Murphy was not Eddie Murphy, sorry, Bill Murray was like in. They made his role bigger than it actually was. So they had to cut his character to be for Bill's character.
I did notice that like when there's a shot where all the characters are like covered in something and they're like fully head to toe covered, and Bill Murray just has a little couple stuff on his shoulder and all that.
Bill Murray, like, so the way they got him. He was like, can you make a remake of a movie called The Razor's Edge? Okay. And he wanted to be in it. And the Columbia Pictures were like, we'll do it as long as you're guaranteed going to be here to do Ghostbusters. Okay. And he said, yeah, I'll do it. Okay. And there was when they let him do it, because they said the movie's not going to cost that much, so it doesn't really matter if it failed or not, because they didn't care. Yeah. It didn't do well. That movie didn't. I think it made like $3 million on like a $12 million budget. Jesus. But so he got him, and that's why the script was finally confirmed. We'll have Bill. Yeah. Even though Bill was there, he did not like add shit. He was just like, whatever, I'll just do it.
I'll read whatever they tell me.
Yeah, and then because like Harold Ramis, like he's already written for him for a lot of his movies. He's kind of already know how to write Bill Murray characters. Yeah. Even though Bill Murray ad libs almost the entire movie. He just makes everything. He improvises almost the entire movie, which you could tell. For me at least.
Is that why his character's all sarcastic?
Yes. Yeah. Like he kind of just does whatever he wants. Yeah. He did not know most of the script when he just showed up. And was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I just felt like this character wasn't a character. It was just Bill Murray, really.
Yeah.
Which I think is so funny because a lot of people are like, oh, he's the best performance. It's Bill Murray's character. And I'm like, he just played Bill Murray.
It's the most believable one. Yeah, because that's just him.
He's just Bill Murray, and then everyone else is an actual character.
You know when he's hitting on girls, that was actually Bill Murray just hitting on them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like his character. We'll talk a little more about it. But like, yeah, he's very like he just showed up and just said shit. Like he just reacted. But I think because it's like a lot of these guys know each other, and like especially SNL with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd or whatever. Like they're kind of used to that. Like they're all comedic guys, so they kind of just improv a lot of this shit or whatever. And the director was fine because he also directs comedies. Yeah. So he was just like, yeah, like he was fine with them direct as long as they they followed the general script. Yeah. They can kind of just go however they want to go or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And I thought it was interesting because Sigourney Weaver's in this movie. Yeah. And this is like post Alien. Like this is like Alien already came out like in '79, I think.
Yeah.
So she was like a serious actor. Yeah. So they were concerned when she was casted because they're like, well, this is a funny movie. Yeah. And like I guess. I hope it's not spoilers. Like she just went on all fours and acted like a dog for audition to show that she doesn't give a fuck. Like she'll do it. Yeah. So they let her kind of like that guy like that kind of sold them like, okay, you're fine in this movie or whatever.
Do you know if they recorded that audition?
Actually, Sam, I might have that tape.
Ooh, you gotta share.
You know someone from back then? You're just like, I got the tape.
He's got connects.
I found it on the hub.
On the what else do you got for us, Omar?
A lot of the other, I think, stats and facts are probably gonna be more post spoilers because it kind of talks about what like some of these characters and all that. But I think that's so crazy. Is like this movie was like this was destined to flop. Everything about it was like this should have failed. Yeah. Yet, as you could tell with the box office and how it's still cultural really now, like it just everything hit perfectly.
I want to ask you because I know you've seen them all. I assume
I love Ghostbusters. I assume
you love them. Why did it become like the big phenomena that it is? Because watching this first movie, I could see how it could have a couple fans, but not as big as it got.
Yeah, I think. It's probably, I don't know if you want to say that question for a little bit. Let's actually describe what the fuck the movie's about. Because we haven't even, I'm just saying the pre-shit. So I'll describe the movie, then I'll answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically Ghostbusters, as the name implies, it's just these doctors, scientists, who believe in the ghosts. Well, some of them do. Believe in ghosts, and in this world they do exist. And they're just busting ghosts. And that's basically the whole plot of this movie. Like, yeah. There's more to it, but the most simple synopsis is just they're scientists who are comedic actors, busting ghosts, funny, interesting ways, but I think still realistic in certain times. And there's kind of like there is an overarching like villain, but it's kind of just like busting ghosts, busting doors, busting ladies, and other busting. Yeah. But to answer Alexander's question earlier, that I think I dragged it. Should I say Xander?
Oh yeah, we should start calling you Xander, dude.
No, Xander Mobus. No, I think because it came out in '84. So, like, I think the movies back then, like, comedy movies, like, because I think you mentioned, like, it's family friendly. Anyone can watch this movie, you know? Like,
there's one scene that I'm like, whoa!
Oh, there's a couple scenes.
Yeah, there are a couple scenes. But how many, like, there are kid movies that have certain scenes you're like, that's not a kid movie.
I don't know.
Wasn't this?
I'll tell you.
What is this rated?
PG.
I think
PG,
I
right?
believe it's PG.
Yeah, it's kid friendly.
Or maybe PG. They do curse. They do
even
curse
though
sometimes.
there's some stuff in there, I know there's alcohol used because I was watching, I watched the beginning with my sister. I'm like, this movie's meant for kids. It's like it's family movie, and she's just like, why is he drinking alcohol? This is
also,
a kid movie.
that was back then where
yeah,
84. They're probably like everyone was drinking.
Yeah, that was what I told her.
Once we get to the spoiler section, there's this particular scene that
Yeah.
I'll just for that scene I'm just gonna read you what the note I took was, but
I think because like it has the openability of like, and anyone can watch this movie or whatever, and it's like it's funny, but it's not pure comedy. Okay. There is a plot. There is like interesting stuff in it. But like an adult, a young person can watch this and enjoy it.
Like I said, like I could see a couple fans, but like, do the sequels and all the other spin-off properties really like add to it? Do they get better?
I think I've said this, and I think a lot of people agree that Ghostbusters 1 is like the peak of the Ghostbuster movies or whatever. And the second one is just kind of the same, but like not as good. And the remake of 2016, no one liked it. I thought it was fine.
It's a classic. What do you mean?
It was fun.
And then the sequel, I thought was just boring. But like, I think it's one of those things where like things like back then, things explode probably less as likely, but they explode bigger than normal things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nowadays, hypothetically, if this movie came out now, like it would be popular, but it wouldn't be like a phenomenon.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think.
Because I think people just kind of like go through things and it's over. Like back then, it's like you watch that movie, you're probably like, well, what else am I gonna do now? I'm gonna go home and like think about the movie.
Well, yeah, it probably became your personality for a bit.
Like,
well, think about it. Like in that era, there's Ghostbusters, there's Jaws, there's
Indiana Jones,
Star Wars,
Furby was the fucking Gremlins. So I was thinking Gremlins,
stuff like Labyrinth, stuff like
Terminator.
Yeah,
I think it's the same year most of those movies.
Like all these movies became like phenomenons within themselves. Like
because I was comparing it to Star Wars. Like I could see how Star Wars could be big. Like it's a like whole fantasy world that you might want to live in, and it was the first one was a really good movie, and then the second one is probably the best one, and I don't know, the third one's kind of up there, but like I could see how that would be such a big thing.
I just think it hit perfectly at the right time.
Yeah,
so like everything works so well that it is like anyone can watch this movie.
I also think it was. I was talking to my boss about this, and he was talking about how much he likes Ghostbusters and how they don't do it like they used to, that kind of thing. But
got him.
But we were noticing that he was talking about like high C. You know the high C orange juices?
Yeah.
They said that he was telling me that they did like a promotion where it was like Ecto Cooler. It was like
the promotion stuff for this movie is like a lot.
Yeah,
like the commercial they show, like, oh, we're busting, like that commercial. Yeah. They showed that for real, and the number was different. They had a real phone number. Yeah, and you can actually call it. Oh. And like it would be Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd would be like, oh, we're sorry, we're busting ghosts, and purportedly. They were getting phone calls 24/7 for 3 weeks.
Oh my god!
They just kept getting phone calls and phone calls. So like and then people would drive that car, like in real life, drive around. Oh yeah. And people can see it or whatever. So like the promotion of it was big as well.
Okay, yeah. I could see that. Then.
So imagine an all-consuming promotional, scheme with a great movie, and then it just becomes your personality for a bit. Now, I mean, we liked the Batman a lot, but like I'm not eating my Batman cereal, or like I'm not. I didn't really think about the Batman outside of talking about it with my friends or watching the movie.
I don't know. I still do, but I don't know about you.
I still think about it.
I'm putting on eyeliner, listening to something in the way.
I will watch that movie all the time. I listen to Nirvana. I don't even like Nirvana. I listen to Nirvana for that movie.
Yeah, but
like, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I also think like to be the boomer, I guess, to be like, because like things come out and it's like it's over and that's it. Like then more things keep coming out.
Let's see what the next thing.
Yeah, like we have attention span is shorter than it was back then. So like something that big will stay relevant for a long time because it's like people are gonna keep talking about it because like other good movies came out, but they'll be like that's it though.
Well, think about it. Spider-Man No Way Home came out, and like I feel like
that's already old news.
Oh, yeah.
Like now we're like Doctor Strange is, and now Thor's coming out now, so it's like it's already like who cares now?
Yeah.
So like back then it's like that wasn't really that thing of a thing or whatever. Like people probably just went to the movie all the time just to watch this movie because what else are you gonna fucking do back then? But let's talk about the actual movie.
Yeah.
I think I might have hinted. I like this movie a lot. I think it works perfectly, and I think it shouldn't have.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I do. So the acting, I think, is interesting because, again, they have the whole, like, there is a script, but they're kind of just going off. And Dan Aykroyd and Harold are the main characters, and they wrote the script, so they kind of know what they have to say. Right, and Bill Murray's known to like he doesn't improv kind of guy.
Can you remind me on who they each play?
Okay,
yeah, because I was about to ask who's Dan Aykroyd again.
I have the list here. So Bill Murray is Peter Venkman.
Vinkman.
the comedic guy.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd is Ray, the one who's super into
The
one.
recording one.
Yeah, the guy with the camera and all that.
He was my favorite.
Ernie Hudson's Winston, the other guy. I wasn't gonna describe his other attributes. And Geraldo Ramos is Egon, the super
Egon was pretty funny, too.
cold, serious
I
guy.
liked Egon.
I like the Egon and was it Ray?
Ray.
Yeah, I like their dynamic.
Yeah, they were good.
I think the way like Geraldo, like when he described it, he's like, oh, Bill Murray's like the mouth, Egon's like the brains, and then Ray's the heart.
Yeah.
Of the three of them.
Yeah.
Because like they're all. I do have a theory that Peter Vickman, Bill Murray's character, isn't an actual doctor. I genuinely don't think he did it. I think he genuinely just like lied his way to get it to be a doctorate or purchased a way to get it. I genuinely don't think he's a doctor.
Yeah.
In this movie, just with the context, I don't care about lore. Yeah, whatever. Like comic books, he's whatever. I don't give a fuck. In this movie alone, I just watched this. I believe that character isn't a doctor.
There's that one scene in the beginning where he introduces himself and Ray's character, and then he calls them both doctors, and then he's just like, oh, and that's Egon.
Yeah.
Because Egon, you easily could tell he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Ray as well. But then Peter just like, he just questions he doesn't know what the fuck's going on half the time.
Yeah.
He just like, so what does that do? What do we do? What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, and again, that's why he's the mouth. He's like the charismatic guy.
He's also like our entry point for the audience, like, because we're also like
don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so everything needs to kind of be
And
explained.
you have to believe that at least he knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't know enough that he knows what's going on. I just generally believe that kind of goes with what I mentioned with Bill Murray, just like ad-libbing. He's just improv that.
Yeah.
He generally probably just didn't know any of the shit that was going on. So when they explain it in the movie, he's probably like, that's his first time hearing it probably as well.
Yeah.
And he's just going off what they're saying.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff, his retorts aren't really based off what the fuck they're actually talking about. He kind of just says like other things. You know what I mean? Like they'll be like, oh, this ghost is doing this. Instead of actually talking about the ghost, people are like, God, what is this? And then he'll say like a reference. They'll be like, or he starts singing a song, like not actually referencing what they're really talking about, but still talking about it.
Yeah,
You know?
trying to keep the scene going without actually like progressing it.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, like, I think Sigourney Weaver's character really encapsulates what Bill Murray's character is like when she calls him like a game show host. Like
she calls him out constantly.
yeah.
And I thought it was so weird. I mean, it's a spoiler where like it's not justified at the end. Like
No.
it doesn't work in the end.
No,
you know?
fun fact, like that was actually her just criticizing him. Like that was.
I would believe it.
she wasn't acting. That's just, no. I'm serious. That's just her.
Oh, really?
saying
Did you
that.
talk to her?
Yeah.
Did you have
I
a,
can't
is that
tell
where you
you-
have the film recording
I
of
found
her?
her on the hub and I messaged her. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You DM'd her.
Yeah.
You're like Sigourney.
Yes.
I loved you when
I'm like,
Alien.
what's up with this line? Did you?
What was
did
this
you
very
actually
specific
say
line
that?
that I remember? Not the rest of the
Yeah.
Just one line.
She's,
Okay,
she's like, no.
She's like, I hate Bill.
yeah, I was just talking shit to him.
More so on Bill, they immediately introduce him as kind of like a scummy, like seedy guy. Like
That's also why I don't think he's a doctor, because he just doesn't do shit.
he's doing that exam with the ESP test
Yeah,
with the girl and the guy,
Yeah.
and then the guy is like trying to guess what's on the card, and he's getting it wrong.
And he gets one right, and he still's like, no,
he
you're
still
wrong.
shocks him, and then the girl, everything's right. He wants to spend more time with her. Oh, come
Even though
by,
she's completely wrong.
come by my
Yeah.
place at 8.
I mean, like I said, he's drinking on campus.
Yeah,
Like, he's a
that's actually got
scumbag.
fired though. I'm pretty sure, but
Like, he's like a scum. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty scummy, that guy.
oh yeah, he's a scummy guy.
Yeah.
And I think though, you mentioned the camp because they're in college for a bit. The college that they actually go to is like, I think Columbus or whatever the
Columbia?
fuck, Columbia.
Mhm.
But they were like, you can use our cool school, just don't say our school's name.
Yeah,
Like don't associate with our name or whatever.
Huh.
But like, because they want to film in an actual campus.
Okay.
So they were like, we'll do it. We can just don't say this. We're not our school. Don't say it.
Yeah.
That's why they only mention like, Harvard and IIT or whatever the fuck. it's called.
MIT and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, they don't mention the actual school's name or whatever. But like,
Where's
Yeah.
Columbia at?
that's a good question. I have no idea. Oh, New York, because they're in New
New
York.
York.
Yeah. What the fuck's wrong with me? They're obviously in New York.
Oh, right.
No.
But I think Egon. I think he probably is my favorite character too.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just so
Well-
fun.
Well, who said
Yes.
two? My favorite's Ray.
You said you because you were like, I like Egon too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like, oh yeah.
He's
like,
my favorite male character.
yes, because like I think like his like because he's like a straight narrow guy. Like everything's serious to him.
Yeah.
Like I think my favorite line was like, "Hey, do you remember that time I sure you tried to drill your own head?" And he's like, "That would have worked if you didn't stop me."
Yeah.
It's like, what?
To what?
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
He does say something
And
like.
it's in the
"You tried to
beginning.
drill
He's
a
like,
hole."
"Oh, do you remember that time?" Peter's telling Egon. he's like, do you remember that time you tried to drill a hole in your head? And Egon is like, and that would have worked if you didn't stop me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yes, you would have drilled a hole in your head. That doesn't solve anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And that line was improvised too. He just made that up. He just like, that would have worked.
But
that's like the beginning.
Sounds great.
That's his first. Yes, his interaction with Egon. That's when he's introduced in the beginning of the movie. But like that line, that kind of encapsulates his character, where he's just like everything to him is super serious. And I think that works perfectly with Bill Murray's character, because all he is just nonsense. He just jokes and jokes, and then Ray's like the perfect middleman. Which I think is so weird that they have the fourth character, like Winston.
Yeah, I feel like Winston wasn't really that necessary.
Because like if you removed him, nothing would have changed.
No, he's in there for.
I think it's like halfway in the
like
movie.
he's like I what do you say? He goes up to talk to the governor.
Yeah. We'll probably mention that a little later.
Yeah.
In the spoilers.
Section.
But yeah, like his character, I think is not necessary. And I think it shows with the whole like this is written for 3 characters.
Yeah.
But then like they added Bill Murray, and he was his kind of own character. But now we already have these 3 already written characters, so we'll just have to like cast the last one.
Yeah.
So I think that was I think that's the issue was they should have just removed one of those other characters. Yeah, I think like honestly those 4 guys are like basically the main characters. There's like the secretary character who's kind of involved a lot. I liked her a lot.
Janine?
She's like the most
my notes.
the most like New York a worker lady. The most perfectly written.
I kind of want to hear what Sam has to say about her.
I like that accent a lot.
The New York accent. Forget about it. What do you mean?
In my notes, I have Janine is, and then in all caps, so good. she's nice. I like her.
Annie Potts. That's her actress's name.
Did she talk like that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that's just an accent she does.
Well, just like in terms of her character, she's snarky. She doesn't really take shit. Like Bill
Murray's like, I can do a better job. No, it's like I'm not getting paid enough, and he's like, you can do another job that's shittier than this, or you can stay here. So
yeah,
you do what you got to do.
Yeah, and then Bill Murray was like, at least try to pretend like you're doing something.
That's so funny. I thought that scene was so funny.
Yeah,
we were just like, oh, you got a lot of work, huh? At least type or something. Like, we're paying you. Like, come on.
Do something.
I think you can tell he's improv because he kind of just like it went from like one kind of like side to the other side. Like he kind of like jumped a lot in that.
Yeah.
He's like being nice, and he's mean. Then he's being nice, and if he's mean, like immediately. So like you can tell he's like improv. But I thought it was perfect because it's just funny.
It was great. Yeah.
And Sigourney Weaver's character has her own little side character that she's involved with. I forgot his actor's name.
Yeah, his character.
Rick Moranis. That guy's a funny guy.
You know what? I think it was Rick Moranis who got beat up. While you guys are talking about it, I'm gonna look this up.
He does sound familiar.
His name is Louis Tully. That's his character's name.
He does sound. I do remember hearing the name Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, his character. He's just a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Who lives in the same apartment as a fucking Sigourney.
Yeah.
And I guess she's just constantly watching when she walks out. Because the second she walks by, he immediately opens the door. So I feel like that means he's just there all day when he can.
His character is, if I were to write me, you, and Sam into one person.
A loser.
Yeah.
A short king.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah. In 20. Wait. I'm sorry. What did you just say? I was Rick Moranis' character?
No, I said,
No. He said that. Anyways, what'd you find?
He got sucker punched in 2020. Like,
dang, that's messed up.
He like disappeared from acting and then like showed up in a Mint Mobile ad as like, hey, I'm kind of getting back into this, and then like a week or two later, like some guy just walked up and sucker punched him on a New York City street.
That's New York style, baby.
Yeah, I don't think it was because he was Rick Moranis. I think he was just like, I'm gonna punch somebody, and then punch the first guy.
I probably didn't even know it was him.
I probably didn't know.
Oh my god.
So that happened. Sorry, that's my recent connection
funny.
to these.
That's my notes for this.
It's like it's awful. It sucks for him, but at the same time, it's like
that's crazy.
The odds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think his character. Obviously, he's supposed to be like a weirdo loser.
A dork, yeah.
But like his acting is just perfect. I think.
Oh, it's great.
Especially with like his like he doesn't get the message. Obviously, she's just like
he's just like all right. Well, I mean, you can invite him over.
That was so.
You can do it.
That's not a spoiler, I think. But she's just like, oh, like you have like, oh, the party's going. You can come in. He's like, oh, I have a day. He's like, tonight on the day of my party. She's like, yeah, I forgot. He's like, well, you can bring the date too. It's like, holy cow.
I also love the running gag that he gets locked out of his apartment all the time.
I think that's funny too. Right? I think everyone works. Like, all the actors who are like kind of like at least some characters, they all play their parts perfectly. And the comedy, it's funny, but it's not all comedy. Which I think that's why again it's like it's you can call it a comedy, but I think it's just like an action movie. Not even an action. I don't even know how you would do the genre.
It's almost like an adventure kind of.
Yeah, it's like an adventure.
Yeah, it has a comedic tone.
Yeah,
like comedy isn't the main thing,
yes.
but that's like the side thing.
Yes,
but it's like relatable because everyone's like this is kind of weird, this is goofy, like, but like, all right, let's
And it's
go
also
with
like
it.
When you make a movie about ghosts, you would expect it to be like horror, serious. But
Yeah.
this is not that. This is the opposite.
like the closest to horror was like maybe the first Ghost you see,
Yeah.
the kind of the way it goes.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like it is pretty almost all played for goose.
Mhm.
Even though if this happened in real life, it'd obviously be very scary or whatever.
I mean, I think that cab driver ghost was
That was
pretty
also,
fucking
yeah.
scary.
I'll talk about a little bit after the spoilers or bit or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I think also like they're just like they seem like just regular dudes.
Yeah.
Like yeah, Egon is super smart, but he's just so like incompetent and everything else.
Mhm.
Is like he's just normal. Ray is just like such a kind-hearted guy. Like he thinks with his heart kind of thing, right? So like he's like he's smart, but he's also like he's dumb in his own way. And then obviously Peter, he's just a dumbass, honestly.
Yeah.
So like and like everything, all they're just wearing jumpsuits, just regular jumpsuits.
like they're in exterminators.
Yeah, like they're
Right.
not wearing anything crazy. They're proton packs and all that. Like they built that shit for themselves. Like that's not like
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
I think like what they call Mythbusters or whatever. I think they did an episode about that.
Really?
I think they said like it will work obviously, but it's just super fucking dangerous.
What?
What will
Like
work?
the proton packs and like the where they pack the thing like
Like
where
to
they
suck
put
up something?
the ghosts in like
Did
the
they
storage
build one?
units or not literally, but
Okay.
like the science of it I think makes enough sense where it can work, but it is extremely dangerous. Just in the movie, obviously, it's
I don't know. I'm gonna call Cap.
Yeah, how the fuck do you make electricity come out of a little tube?
that's how normal electricity is. Isn't it? It goes through a tube. It goes through
I mean,
wiring.
How are you gonna like shoot it out? I don't think that's.
I don't think you know how science works. I think you underestimate how science actually is.
Listen.
You can do a lot of science
I don't
shit.
think
I'm
you
not
can make a-
saying
Listen, Alex. After today's episode, we'll hang out watching Bill Nye together.
we'll watch
We'll-
Mythbusters. We'll watch the whole Ghostbusters Mythbusters.
I'm just trying to
I'm not
say,
saying
I don't think
it's like anyone can do it. I'm just saying it is a possibility. It's just be extremely useless
it's
and
as
pointless.
possible as a fucking lightsaber, man.
Yeah, exactly. You could technically make a lightsaber
you
for
can't.
realsies. It'd just be fucking like
All right. Anyway,
Pointless.
away from the reality of it.
this movie's real.
This is a fake movie.
I saw this in real life.
There's a
In
ghost
New
right next
York.
to you.
You?
Yes.
Is it the comer?
I've been dead this whole time.
He's a Slimer, dude.
Wow.
I got slime.
Transition. Fucking yeah. I think this movie. I love this movie.
Yeah.
I genuinely like this movie a lot.
It's a fun time.
It was.
And it works now.
Yeah.
Like it's funny now. Maybe not everyone will think that. I don't know.
But it's still very obviously like a product of its time when
Yeah.
it comes to
Yeah,
like,
it's very dated.
well, like in the sense of advertising, in the sense of
People just drinking.
yeah, drinking all the time,
Smoking all the time.
The
Yeah.
musical, like either it's like the whimsical music that's playing that's like very 80s, or like just the Ghostbusters theme song and some of the licensed music they
The
use.
sexual innuendos that won't pass on today's PG standards.
Yeah,
Bill Murray being a creep
I will.
and then being okay with that.
That's the scene I want to talk about. So once we get to the spoiler section, let's do that.
But like,
But yeah.
I still think maybe like if a kid watched it now, like I don't know if they would like.
I think
it.
I think if a kid watched it now, that'd be fine.
But
now,
like,
if a parent watched it with their kid now, it might be a little weird.
Yeah.
I still think it works now. Like it's still funny. Like some of the jokes, it's not that the jokes aren't that
Yeah.
dated.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I saw it as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
I think I watched it in high school when I think the 2016 was coming out, and I
so
think it was on like
You weren't
like-
a kid, fake fan.
Fake fan.
yeah, I wasn't born in '84.
Yeah.
My bad. Oops. Sorry, mom,
fan.
dad.
You watched it after it came out? Fake fan.
Cringe.
Ooh.
Alex, would you watch
Bandwagon.
This movie? Alex, would you watch this movie with your dad?
Yeah.
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 I mean, that's not a rule for me.
I feel like he would have been a
Me.
kid when the Ghostbusters phenomena was
He
taking
probably
over
grew
the
up.
world.
Yeah, 'cause he probably like at least in the second one when that one because that came out in '89.
He also grew up in Mexico, so I don't think he ever.
No,
heard
he was
of
probably,
it.
he was probably into El Chapulín Colorado.
Yeah.
That's true. That's their prime.
which
If
is
my
a
dad is
classic.
into it, there's no way your
That
dad's
is a
not going to be
classic.
into
It's a
it.
class.
But yeah, like and like there was also like cartoons in during that time as well.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, I would recommend this movie easily.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. Alexander's laughing at
I'm
me.
sorry.
My opinion.
We're just gonna make it a thing now. Would you watch this with your dad?
Yeah.
That's Alex's question. That's your go-to question.
Just don't
That's
even
the go-to.
just don't like. Do you recommend it? Just would you watch it with your dad?
Would you watch it with
Okay.
your dad? Yeah.
Would you play this game with your dad? Would you watch this movie with your dad?
I'll accept that.
It's fine.
That's
I
your
like
thing
it.
now. Your
I
dad.
guess I'll take it.
I hope your dad isn't like trying to be like a terrible person in the news. We're just like, oh god, let's get out.
No, my dad is an okay person.
Okay.
He's a great guy.
One
Cut
of
that-
the best. best.
A swell fella.
Did you say you recommend it or not?
Yeah, I don't think I said it, but I would recommend it. I mean, this is the easiest recommendation I think we'd have to make this entire.
It's a classic, I think, for a reason.
I mean,
it makes sense.
I mean, if you think about the other movies we watched so far, like I don't think, like this is the easiest one to recommend to anyone.
Anyone can watch this movie. There's no like, well, maybe if you're not into it, like this is pretty
Have
much
we had
like
anything else that's like this mainstream?
no. There's no way.
I guess Jojo Rabbit would be.
That's
the
not
next,
mainstream.
That would be the next closest though. Like Jojo Rabbit's more mainstream than Blade Runner or Lady Bird
I feel
or
like
Swiss
Blade
Army
Runner-
Man.
I think Blade Runner is more mainstream.
Yeah.
The Blade Runner is popular. Like Blade Runner is a franchise.
Yeah.
Jojo Rabbit isn't.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true. But I don't know. I think Blade Runner is still kind of niche.
I've seen more Blade Runner things than JoJo things when it was being advertised. That's how I see it as.
Okay. But yeah, this is the easiest one to
Yeah, this is easily the most like mainstream, like popular thing. That's not a bad thing. It's really good.
It's a good movie.
Do we have any more like this on our list?
I have no idea.
American
Pie. That was the first thing I was gonna say.
American Pie. Yeah, we'll have to check the list later, but
We'll talk another time.
yeah.
But I guess we'll hop into spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie,
Get out of here.
be like a ghost and get the fuck out of New York. Get out of my house.
We're gonna bust you.
So-
Watch where you're walking.
I have two notes. They both came from the montage segment halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
You know, there's the scene where they're just going through like newspaper articles and stuff about them. There's a magazine cover, and then I wrote down the headline on it, and it was, "quote Do ghosts have civil rights?" And I was like, "Oh my god,
That's tubular, dude.
And I was like, "That was great." And then later on, there's a scene where I can't tell if Ray is dreaming or a ghost actually shows up and starts unbuckling his pants.
Was there a reason for that scene? I
So,
forgot about that.
So they filmed that.
Yeah.
That scene with the ghost, like how they busted that ghost, or whatever. But then they ended up cutting it because of the time constraints or whatever.
Yeah.
So they end up cutting it, but they end up keeping that as like a dream sequence.
Oh, okay.
But like I guess like in the like they went to like a fort and that ghost was there or whatever, and then they busted it and followed that. I think because like Ray dressed up like a character like from that time.
They busted.
So the ghost
so they busted that ghost and then that ghost
they busted him back.
Yeah,
whatever. But I think that's enough where like a kid watched it, they're not gonna know what the fuck that means at all.
What do you mean?
Dude, if a kid just saw that,
he literally looked up and went cross-eyed.
His fucking pants were being undone.
what if he's like, I'm taking my pants off, they be more comfortable.
This feels
They
so
don't know.
comfortable.
I'm just saying, I think not all kids would know what that is. If a kid saw,
kids wouldn't know, but I imagine a parent.
That's
would
what
be
I'm
like,
saying.
Watching it, like-
"Guys."
that's what I'm saying. Like, there are kid
They
movies
don't know.
where like I've seen kid movies where like they say adult things and I'm like, well, what the? And I was like, that's not child friendly. But like a child wouldn't get that though.
Yeah. Also,
Well, I know what you're talking. That is pretty wild.
there was a lot of sexual energy in this movie.
Oh,
I think you mean I would call it creeper energy
Nah.
from Peter.
Oh yeah, Peter liked the Sigourney Weaver. But even so, you know the scene where Sigourney Weaver was kidnapped, right?
That was I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
That was weird.
They were grabbing up on her. And
They were
all.
grabbing her breast and her like vag. Like that was weird.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, am I tripping? And then like I saw it again. I'm like, no, that's
I was
they're
like-
totally grabbing up on
I
her.
was like, okay, so how do I go back in time and become a puppeteer so I can do that?
How do I be the ghost?
How do I do the ghost? How do I
And then her
bust?
character like after that, like where she's like fucking really
she's like,
posing.
do you
and,
want this woman?
and then it's like, oh, I want you inside of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he just like, no.
Again.
Well, maybe.
Imagine watching this with your kid.
So
That scene. That's what I thought you were talking about. Was that scene?
Oh no.
Was from Peter and her character together?
Yeah. For some reason, I
after.
forgot about that scene. Really, but
Yeah, how do you forget? Do you want this woman in you or something like that?
I want you inside of me. That's what she says.
Listen, all I guess is Bill Murray's a better man than me.
I think that
Sam would have folded.
You would have committed the crime.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking Unbreakable would have been on your ass. No, he wouldn't. He would have ignored you. He would have found someone worse than you.
Yeah.
We're all connected. Anyways, I think that scene was funny because she's like, "Are you the key master?" He's like, "No," and just closes the door. He's like, knocks against the same. He's like, "Are you the key master?" Like, "Oh yes, I know him. He talked to me yesterday." Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what his character works that way.
Yeah.
But there's so many times where I'm like, "You should be arrested. Like, you're being a major creep."
Yeah.
Especially with her character.
They have a kiss at the end. It looks
That
kind
kiss
of
was
forced.
not.
Yes.
It looks forced.
That was like, that's not a bad thing, but it's like that was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I thought she just hated that guy, and then like he did not change,
Yeah.
and then
He saved
they
her.
still like kissed.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I thought that was weird.
Yeah, I feel like there didn't need to be any romance for that.
I think every character, I guess besides Winston's character, like had like a kind of romance thing
Yeah.
where like Ray had the ghost, and that was supposed to be more, but they cut it out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Peter had the Sigourney Weaver, and then
Egon
has the
Egon has Sam's girl.
I forgot her name already.
You gonna fight him?
Janie, whatever, Jamie. Who fucking cares? But and then that was gonna be more written too. There was more written for that, like them to be an actual romance.
Go into it in the sequels.
Like I don't fucking remember. I have not seen Ghostbusters 2.
I will watch Ghostbusters 2 if Janine's in it.
Yes. I think she's in all of them.
Even the 2016 one.
Yeah. Like they all make cameos that if they can.
I was trying to make a bit, but
I'm
okay.
Gonna become
they're all.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna become a Ghostbusters fan.
I want to be a Ghostbusters spinoff, but yeah, like they were more written for that character as well.
Okay. Yeah,
they're a little more rest, but I think the way they did it, just maybe more Sigourney Weaver cut off of that part. Like that was less romance of that. Because I think it's innuendo that Ricky Moranis' character fucks Sigourney Weaver.
Oh no,
that's basically what happened.
I thought it was implied.
No, yeah.
It's implied, not an innuendo.
I didn't want to be like, you guys were like, no, and I'm like, shit. They fuck.
Keymaster and the gatekeeper. Come on.
But that's like some BDSM thing. But then there's like a scene where they both come up, and their hair's all messy.
And like they're on top of each other, I think, or like on like a pillar.
I'm pretty sure he's buckling his pants up or his shirt. He's doing something.
Yeah,
he's putting some clothes on.
But
so good on him.
Yeah.
Well, he's not gonna remember. He's never remember. So I guess not as great. I guess, huh?
No, actually, I'm looking back at my notes and I have a couple more things to mention. That scene where Lewis gets like denied when he's like, oh, you're gonna have a date on my party day. Like what the fuck? All I wrote was, man, Lewis is a loser. Like
he's such a loser.
Like I said, he's all three of us in one person.
Yeah, and then once they go to the mayor's office at the end, I love how the priest comes in and he's like, I do not want to comment on the religious implications of these ghosts.
But this is God.
Yeah.
And then like when they explain his ghost, he just like, he was already in again. I'm like, what?
Well, I like how when the mayor had to make the decision as to trust the Ghostbusters or not, like he looks over at the priest and the priest is like, yes.
Yeah, man, you do it,
like,
bro.
Why does the mayor have so much faith in this guy?
The dude that fucking begins the whole third act and with the
EPA guy?
Yeah.
Dude, I
hated that guy.
Like, unnecessary.
I'll bring that up real quick. I want to go back there real quick with the priest thing. Yeah. I thought it's interesting because Winston's character, like in like, well, I think before that scene, he's like, oh, have a God conversation with Ray.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you believe in God and blah blah. But yeah, like at the fucking like end when like Gozer's like, are you a God? And Ray's like, no. Winston's the character says, if he asks you you're a God, you say yes. And I'm like, I think someone who believes in the Bible should not say it. Like another character should have said that. I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
But to go to what you brought up, what you said, Walter Peck, that's the character's name.
Yes.
That was the other stat fact I was going to bring up because it's very interesting, that guy. I think that character is perfect for this movie because if he's not in it, that makes Bill Murray's character the worst character in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like personality-wise, he would be the worst person.
I guess.
But if he's in the movie, now he's guaranteed the worst person, and you can't be like, well, Bill Murray's bad, but this guy's 100% worse.
He's like a secondary antagonist.
Yeah.
And also, he's right.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is dangerous because Egon mentioned earlier that thing might blow up.
Yeah.
So he is right to be like, this is dangerous as fuck. Because even if he didn't shut off, I believe that shit would have blown up anyways.
I mean, he shut it off and it blew up. So
that's what I'm saying. That would have happened anyways. I think that shit was gonna. Those guys are pretty like, they're just making shit.
Well, they were also like already talking about reaching maximum capacity.
So like, I can imagine that was gonna blow up at some point anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't blame that guy. I think he's the most correct guy in this.
I mean, they could have prepared.
They didn't.
Yeah.
But I think his character is perfect for that.
Okay.
Like that he's like the perfect antagonist, and also for Peter's character not to be basically the villain. Honestly, if you think about it.
Yeah.
But his actor, I thought this was so crazy to me.
I mean,
William Atherton, that's the guy's name. One, I think he was a pretty good actor. I think in this movie too, the way he acted in it. But so he met Ivan, the director, like a year later, and he just fucking yelled the shit out of him because he's getting harassed ever since the movie came out.
Oh, really?
It's funny you mentioned the whole he being sucker punched in New York. That's basically what happened to William there.
Really?
That like he'd be at bars and people would want to fight him. They would just harass him all the time.
You stop the Ghostbusters.
And I think one of the worst stories he told it to Ramus, Egon's character, the actor. He told a story that he was walking down the streets of New York and a bus full of tourists drove by, not on purpose, but they just drove by, and they saw him and they yelled dickless at him. They just chanted that shit to him. Dude, he fucking hated it. Like, he hated being this, and he didn't want to be another character like this ever again.
Yeah.
Even though I think he does for like Die Hard or something like that. But like, obviously now he's chill about it. But back then, we're like, again, like
When it was
85.
yeah.
We're like, imagine social media. He probably just got destroyed.
Yeah.
But like, he got destroyed just for playing that small character only in the third act, and people just hated him.
Yeah.
The whole time when I was watching him on screen, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up and just is the villain for the sequel.
I think he is. I could be wrong. I remember the villain being like a possessed guy in a suit, and I think that's him.
Oh
I
my
could be
God.
wrong. I haven't seen
Oh,
the
there you
sequel
go.
in a
I
while.
predicted the sequel.
But because I remember during the movie, I'm like, is he gonna be possessed in this? But I think it's unless I'm wrong. I don't remember. But it's funny you bring up the villain because Gozer in this originally was gonna be like a suit and tie.
Yeah.
The character they mentioned in the movie, like, I forgot his character. The Igus or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember.
The dude who like made the cult or whatever, like that was gonna be the character because they wanted a certain actor to be in it,
And they got,
but he said no.
they got someone else.
So they were like, oh, let's just do like David Bowie, like this gender fluid character. Like it just, you can't really tell the gender of it really. So
Okay.
that's what they did for Gozer instead. I thought that worked fine. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, all the 5 minutes he's in it.
Yeah, it sucks. It's like barely. And then she's
Yeah.
like, I'm going now, and then
I'm
they
going.
fucking
Go
disappear.
fight the other
And then
thing now.
she never shows up ever
And
again.
then she says, go fight the marshmallow
Yeah,
dude who's
yeah.
also here for 5 minutes.
So like I think that was fine because it's whimsical, you know. Like
yeah.
it counterbalances like she's so like fantastical as opposed to like these normal Joes.
I don't know.
I think it's a perfect like antagonist for them.
It is. I wish there was more. The third act
I do wish there was more.
The third act of the movie really fumbles it a bit, though.
I think the third act builds up to this like big thing, and then
Yes.
it's over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like each like quote unquote villain.
Yes. They talk about what's his character?
Gozer.
Gozer for like
The whole movie.
the whole
really.
movie, and then shows up, and just like that, he's gone.
She like disappears into heaven, and then
Yeah.
you never see her ever again.
She would. What is it?
Are you okay?
I don't know. You keep saying she. I keep saying he because David Bowie.
I only say
They.
she. I say she
They.
because in the movie he's like, oh, I didn't know it was a woman, and he was
Okay.
like, well, it could be whatever it wants. So I assume at that point it wants to be a woman, but it is like it looks a way where like
Let's just,
if you say it's a man or a woman, you would
let's just call it David Bowie.
it's called or Gozer, the character's name. But yeah, I think the what the fuck's it called, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's based off the tire dude, the one with like that white tire fat guy.
Oh, the Michelin Man.
Yeah.
Fused with Pillsbury Doughboy. That's
Yeah, that
basically
makes
like the
sense.
kind of design of
I can see that.
him. I like how they kind of show that design in the beginning of the movie too. Like so it's not like kind of just random. Like you kind of do see like that
Yeah, he
design.
shows up. Yeah.
Like
You
beforehand.
see the
or whatever.
pack of marshmallows.
And I think on the side of the building when the building explodes,
That's
I think
it,
there's
yeah.
there's another thing right
Yeah.
there too. Where like, but I think that's also like interesting where it's like Dan Aykroyd was like, I want something that's like what he says in the movie, kind of what he thought for real, like
Yeah.
something that's like soft and like calming, but then like it can still be scary. And I was like, like that is pretty scary looking, like the
Yeah.
fucking the face it makes or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy. I think they said like they had to make 3 suits. It cost $300,000 for each suit.
Jesus.
And they destroyed every suit every time they made. Like every time they kept doing shit, just kept getting ripped and ripped.
Jeez.
So like there's no suits or whatever. And the whole Slimer thing, I think that also costs like this is crazy to me. I have this written. I almost shut the computer off. I was like, I'm done writing notes. My friend texted me this, and I read it. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to write this.
Yeah.
This is so weird. So the special effects guy, Steve Johnson, the guy who like makes the shit or whatever. So originally, Slimer, the Dan Aykroyd when they wrote it, they were like it was supposed to be like John Belushi. We wanted it to look like John Belushi.
Okay.
Like a kind of homage from obviously he just passed away.
Yeah.
So you wanted him to have a homage to him. Except Steve didn't know that until like the day before.
Oh.
So, but the issue, it took him 6 months to make it.
Yeah.
So every time they made it, like the company, the production company would be like, oh, add this, or change this, add this. So he kept fucking like adding shit. So he was just like fucking just upset and angry the entire time making this fucking thing.
Yeah.
So like the day before, also cost $300,000 to make just the Slimer,
Oh
like
my God.
the suit. It's a suit or whatever. I think because I think someone wears a suit for, and it's a puppeteer for the hands or whatever.
I'm guessing for the new one that just came out, that's all CG, right?
Yeah, it's all CG.
Okay.
So the day before the deadline, Johnson learned that Aykroyd and Ramos wanted Slimer to be a homage to John Belushi's likeness. With that information and a series of Belushi's headshots, Johnson took 3 grams of cocaine and believed that Belushi's ghost was visiting him to provide encouragement. It was during this episode that he sculpted the final Slimer design that appeared in the film. So he just snorted a fuck ton of cocaine and said, "Bet, watch this," and then he made that design.
Have you never done that?
Have I never snorted cocaine? Not on this podcast, I will admit that. But I think
I just saw you.
What? I did not have such thing. I didn't have anything. What are you talking about? I think the design is like great.
Yeah, it looks
Like it doesn't look like John Belushi, but again, to give a guy one day to do it, and he's obviously on 3 grams of coke, I think that's pretty good design to make it or whatever.
It's not too bad.
I don't know, like seeing like Ghostbusters stuff like around me, like as a child, like I never saw the movie. I had a different vision for Slimer.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Probably because like his original design, all those original designs are just puppeteer, so it looks more older. You know what I mean?
I don't.
And they probably like fine tuned it now.
Like when he showed up in the movie, I didn't recognize him. I don't know
You're like, what is that?
I don't know what the design I have in my head is, but it wasn't that.
I think, and also because like that's not his name in the movie Slimer.
Yeah.
Like I think his name was like Onion Head. Onion Head Ghost because it smelled like really disgusting.
Oh,
the actual
okay.
like thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's like in the cartoons where like
They
they named it
it a name.
Slimer because of Peter when he's like, oh, it slimed me. So
Yeah, Slimer.
that was supposed to be like Eddie
Oh.
Murphy's character too. So I'm saying like
Oh.
that's how early that character was supposed to be in the movie.
Mhm.
Involved in that. That was supposed to be that guy
Huh.
instead of
I forgot
Peter
there was a
Venkman's
cartoon
character.
that was very popular.
Yeah, there was. So that's interesting as well, the whole cartoon thing, because when they made this movie, the name The Ghostbusters was copyrighted already
Really?
by, I think it was like Columbus or Universal, one of those two. Oh,
Okay.
Universal Columbus is this movie. Universal Studio had the copyright for the Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
which was I think like a kids show.
Okay.
And so they were like, well, fuck. So they were like, oh, Ghost Smashers, Ghost like Destroy, like other names.
Yeah.
So it was so weird. Perfect timing, I guess. The president of whatever the fuck, what the fuck did I already say?
Universal?
The other one.
Columbus.
Columbus Studios. President of Columbus Studios left being the president and became the president of Universal Studios.
Oh.
And he just brought
And then
the
he
rights.
let he I think he bought the right for them to use it or whatever. So it was like just perfect
Yeah.
for them because during the shooting of the movie they still didn't have the name of it guaranteed.
Okay.
So they written Ghostbusters and like the chants Ghostbusters, and then they'd reshoot it and then chanting Ghost Smashers and a sign of Ghost Smashers, and eventually they were like, this is so much wasting time, let's just fucking get the name of it now because we're just fucking wasting all this time.
I'm glad they did
Yeah.
because they got a pretty kick-ass song.
Yeah, Ghostbusters is
the
a
name, everything is perfect.
Yeah.
And that's why there's a cartoon called The Ghostbusters. Not the, so it's something Ghostbusters, but it's not the cartoon for the show. So that's why the actual cartoon for the show is called The Real Ghostbusters.
Ah, yeah.
So that's the actual cartoon
Yes.
of it or whatever. So there's a lot of like hoo-ha with the whole name of it or whatever.
And that other the Ghostbusters cartoon is like complete something different, right?
Yeah, it's like a live action and like I think
yeah.
for kids or something like
Okay.
that. But like, yeah, like when I think I mentioned like with the whole like guerrilla like filming, and I think Sam mentioned the montage of them ghost busting. There's a scene where they're like in a theater and they're literally being chased by security guards.
Yeah.
And it's in the film because again they didn't have permission to do a lot of shit.
Oh.
All the driving they did in that montage, the driving
Yeah.
was them just driving. There was no like police stopping things, so they were just going
that
and
was
just
all
recording
real.
it. Yeah, it wasn't until later in the movie like the filming
Yeah.
they had like obviously because there's
Permission.
more stuff later.
Mhm.
But those scenes are just them just driving and just having a camera there and just recording them or whatever.
Jesus Christ.
So a lot of stuff is just them doing that shit or whatever, which I think it works perfectly because it's like a whole New York, the streets, hometown people. You know, they're grimy, they're disgusting,
Yeah.
but they're New York. You know what I'm saying?
You know, talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this, I kind of want to rewatch this.
This movie's better now. than I think about it.
I like the whole time I thought it was good, but you know, maybe in a couple months, maybe a year.
You want to watch it more to analyze the filmmaking process instead of just what it is.
Like you're just telling me like that they were being chased by cops during that montage sequence. I don't remember.
It's
that.
very like
I don't
quick.
remember.
Yeah. It's like
but
one
like there's
second.
stuff I missed. Like,
Also, to be fair, I was watching on Amazon and they have like the X-ray thing,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh,
it
yeah.
tells you. So when I read it, I rewound to make sure. I also because I watched it already, I didn't care rewinding it because I already knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot to bring this up. The whole William Beck character.
Yeah.
So when the Marshmallow Man explodes, it's shaving cream.
Yeah.
Is what they use to do it.
Yeah.
So obviously his character gets drenched by it.
Yeah.
So the day of, the actor was like, he went to the dude who's like the head of that thing.
Mhm.
He was like, oh, so like how much does it weigh? He's like, oh, not that much. He's like, well, can you check?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's just 75 pounds. And he was like, 75 pounds? What? It's like, that's 75 pounds. Like, yeah, but it's shaving cream. And like, I don't know if he said it or people were just using it as an example. It's like basically the whole 75 pounds of feather, 75 pounds of steel. It's the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
So he just like, that's 75 pounds of shit that's gonna drop on me.
Yeah.
So like, can you have a stunt dude do it? And I think they're kind of like calling him a pussy for that. So they got the stunt guy to do it.
Yeah.
That dude got fucking flattened. Like he got just destroyed. So they were like, oh, oops. So they reduced the Oscar by a lot more.
Obviously.
And then he ended up doing it or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, that guy just got destroyed, like harassed in the movie, like the filming of it, and then harassed post the movie.
Oh, that reminds me of a similar thing. You know, do you guys ever watch iCarly?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, there's a scene where there was some sort of special where Gibby like falls from the ceiling and like lands on his belly.
Mm-hmm.
That was a stunt double, and I guess he like injured himself doing that.
Oh my god!
Stunt for iCarly. Could you imagine
Yeah,
getting injured?
A Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
funny. No, but yeah, like I think it's so crazy. They were like, oh, pussy. Like it's just 75 pounds. I'm like,
Guys,
do you understand what you're saying? I think I saw a shot of like, what's her name, Katy Perry, like on the like Nickelodeon like Teen Choice things, whatever.
Oh, yeah,
You know, they
yeah.
get slimed or whatever, and like I actually opened a box and like they fucking shot that shit like fucking 100 miles an hour and just like blasted her
it's like
face.
terminal
And, like
velocity.
she like moved to the side and I'm like, yeah, it's slime, but like they're shooting that shit like
Can we
Yeah.
see
hard.
video of that
You
or research?
I actually have a lot of research I want to do
There's
apparently.
a lot of research we gotta do. We gotta watch Sigourney Weaver on all fours. You gotta watch Katy Perry.
Well, she
get
does do that
blasted.
in the movie. To be fair, when they're like getting electrocuted, they're like,
I want to see the
More,
screen test.
so-
Though. I want to see
Yeah.
the screen test.
But yeah, I think this movie, like, yeah, it shouldn't work because everything was just so bad about it. Like everything went wrong, yet it worked perfectly. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it is because again, most of you guys know each other, directors and actors. Most of them are comedic guys and they're improv guys, so they know how to kind of go on the fly. Especially with Bill Murray, just kind of shooting the shit
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie. There were times where I saw he was gonna start a sentence because there was like exposition time. He like stopped mid sentence.
Yeah.
I think when they're in the prison,
Mm-hmm.
Egon is like describing the cult, and he's like, no, and then like he stops talking, and then it goes like the exposition keeps going or whatever.
Yeah.
And that prison, I forgot to bring this up. I guess that prison beforehand was like it's a haunted prison
Oh.
because there were like marks on the walls that it's not physical, like that no one was there, but there are marks of like damage around the walls and shit.
Mhm.
So when they filmed it, they didn't want to go back.
Oh.
So they were praying that they had enough shit
Uh-huh.
to not go back, because I think I mentioned like when the movie was over, they do had to edit it, but they didn't have time to like film more.
To reshoot her.
So like he just had to hope that they had enough shit for everything.
yeah.
That's why the whole like them ad-libbing, he was just like, fuck,
So
whatever.
they got scared of marks on the wall.
Hey man, if I went to a prison,
That's called erosion.
no, that's not like erosion.
Yeah, they're not real scientists then.
Well, Peter isn't.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There's only a part where he's like, I'm a doctor in like psychology, and he's like, oh yeah, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a doctorate. Like, if he's probably lying, but like, no disrespect him because he just has a fucking psychology doctorate or whatever.
Yeah.
I still don't think he's a doctor. I generally do not think he's a fucking anything. He definitely had to like do something. That's why I'm surprised they're friends.
Yeah.
They're friends probably
'Cause
from
it's
like
like-
kids or something.
Cause like,
Listen.
if they're friends, how did he not just like? Cause Ray is obviously really smart.
Yeah.
This fucking dude is like Peter, just like doesn't give a fuck. He just wants money and women.
Listen, you're Ray, and you're
Egon.
and
You're
this
Egon. You're more
guy-
Egon than anything.
This guy,
Because you're a loser.
This guy's Venkman.
He's Lewis.
And the reason I'm not pointing at anyone and telling the audience who I'm pointing at, so you can decide at home who's who.
That's why I also said no. You.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually pointing at someone.
Someone's being pointed at
Someone.
here. This guy over here is Venkman. You know what I mean?
Can I be Winston, the least supporting character?
You are very sarcastic.
To be fair, I am not black. Okay, but cut the. I didn't know where I was going with that sentence. That's why I said that.
that's
Just
fine.
bleep it out with
Alex,
something funny.
Alex said something in the first half of the movie, and he was like, "Oh, the only thing Winston's character does
Yeah.
is that like when the mayor's like,
He,
what's going on?
He argues why the ghosts are real.
Yeah,
he's like,
just like,
he's like, look, I've seen them. I've only been here for a little bit of time, but I know they're real.
It'll scare the white out of you.
Yeah.
All the white guys are like, oh.
And
They
then,
cut to that one white guy. He was like, oh, shit.
yeah, and then,
Wait, was this guy white before?
and after that, out of nowhere, he has a jumpsuit now.
But yeah, his character is literally just useless, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's just unnecessary. Where if they just removed him, nothing would change.
Which is surprising considering that he came back for the second one.
Because he was obviously very upset, the guy was, like the actor. Because again, he got paid way less to do way less.
Yeah.
And like, he was led to believe that he was going to be a big character, like the big four.
Yeah.
In reality, it's just a big three and then friend.
I would assume he got a bigger role in the second one, right?
He's definitely in it more.
Okay.
But I still feel like his character is pointless throughout like those movies. Where like, because again, there's just three scientists and then it's just him. I guess he's kind of to be like the dude who's like the normal guy who's like, that's crazy, or like, that makes no sense. What's this mumbo jumbo you're talking about? I did not mean that in a racial. I realized when I said that. That sounded really bad. I just meant that. I feel like I don't know.
He's that character that goes to the smart people and he's like, in English, please.
Yeah. Okay, it's just funny.
Yeah.
It works. It hit different. It litty. I'm just saying words.
It Liddy in the city.
It litty as fuck. It really does feel like a New York.
It makes you feel like a Ghostbuster.
It really makes you feel like you're a New Yorker.
Yeah.
What it feels like to be in the disgusting streets of New York.
There's a baller ass
There's
movie.
fucking slammers
For,
everywhere.
Let's go pick our next movie.
Yeah, next one's an Omar movie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see what
I don't remember my A list anymore.
Yeah, it's
I don't remember
see
anything.
Let's see what we got.
Spin the wheel. Ghostbusters 2. Wow. I knew what was gonna happen. I can't see the list.
Grand Budapest.
Oh my god, are you serious? Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, let me show. What was the face? What was the movie the next to it? Because you made a face. Oh my god, that's funny. I want to explain this real quick. I think when we started is in the morning.
Yeah.
Sam was literally like, "Can we watch Grand Budapest Hotel? Like, whose list is that? Because I want to watch that." Because he just watched it.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Oh yeah, sure." Well, guess what just got picked? The Grand Budapest
baby.
Hotel. And you're talking about Wes Anderson.
I love Wes
The last
Anderson.
episode as well.
I love Wes Anderson.
And also, you couldn't see this wheel. The movie that was right next to it, that was very close to be chosen, was Brokeback Mountain. Obviously, I want to watch that movie.
You
wanna
want
watch
to
But
watch
it's just been funny to go from like all these movies are like, it's just a wave of like, what are we going?
Yeah. Just serious and then kind of funny
Nope.
to serious again.
I heard good things about Grand Budapest, so I'm
I feel
happy
like
with
this
that.
movie's like a fusion of the last two movies. This quirky, unique director doing his own unique shit
Yeah.
with a comedy.
Yeah,
Like that's what Grand Budapest that's what Wes Anderson is.
Okay.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Like he does his own shit, his own very specific way of how he makes his movies. They're all kind of the same. No offense, not in that way though.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see how you guys are gonna feel about this movie.
I'm
think
excited.
I've only seen Isle of Dogs.
Okay.
Oh, and the like
Moonrise
Moonrise Kingdom.
King. I actually recently
I've
saw
seen that one.
That was good.
I think I might have seen another one, but that's basically I've not. And I've always wanted to watch this movie.
Well, I mean, the same person who recommended Killing of a Sacred Deer recommended this movie to me, so.
They're dumb. But
They like those
you've
two
never seen a Wes Anderson movie before.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so this is gonna be an interesting. I'm really curious to see what he has to say about it, specifically
Yeah.
Alex.
Alice is gonna be like, I don't remember that.
I'm gonna be like,
Please watch this. 100% focus, not dead asleep.
Yeah.
when have I done that?
This movie. You ever like? I woke up at 5 a.m. to
That
watch
was
this.
not. That was not this movie.
That was last week's movie.
That was this movie. No, you
No.
woke up at 2 a.m. to watch this one, and then,
No.
and then you fell asleep. Then you want to wake up at 5 a.m. to watch the other one.
I actually fell asleep twice during this one.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I still no. It's just because I was tired, but I
This
did.
is what I'm saying.
I did watch it.
You have. I want you to be like day off. I'm not doing anything all day.
Also,
I'm just gonna watch this movie.
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
I think Grand Budapest is only like an hour and a half. Like it's not a long movie.
I maybe.
I will watch it tomorrow.
A lot of actors in it too.
A lot of them, and Bill Murray's in it too.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
he's in almost every Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
movie.
probably. I think so.
So-
I think one of those things where like, I'm in.
Yeah, pretty much.
He very much. I think as I mentioned earlier, like he just does movies.
Yeah,
Like he's just like Garfield. That Garfield story
Oh
is so
my
funny to
God.
me. Where he was like Cohen, I'm in, and
I'm
it turns out it's
in.
not the Cohen brothers. He's like, oh
No,
shit,
a
oops.
different person. Yeah.
Tale of Two Kitties. No. Anyways,
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. with
Keep
the
on
Grand
bustin'.
Budapest.
Now available to own on DVD and video.